Welcome back to Law and Crime, and it is my pleasure to introduce a new segment that we are doing called Law and Mediaite, and I'm so happy to introduce our special guest, Colby Hall, who is the founding editor of Mediaite, who is our sister publication. Colby, I understand you have information to share about the CNN threat last night, the bomb threat.
I do, and thank you for having me. This is our second segment called Law and Mediaite. For your viewers who are not familiar, Mediaite.com covers the intersection of media and politics. And very often there is a legal or law point of view in what's happening in the news. Last night wasn't so much a sort of litigious issue, a classic court issue, but there was a very scary incident at Time Warner Center at CNN Studios where there was a bomb threat, there was a bomb scare, and roughly, I don't know, in the 10 o'clock hour, and the studios had to be evacuated. It's a dangerous time where the journalists are getting threats all the time, and so Don Lemon was hosting his show at 10 o'clock, CNN Tonight, and he had to leave the studio, in which he sort of ended up reporting from the sidewalk outside the studio. I think we have a clip of that.
But I'm just getting more information coming in. The caller made the threat to CNN headquarters in New York, indicated there were 5 devices in the building. That's according to law enforcement, and that's what had been told from law enforcement as well. The call came in where originally we thought it was around 10:30. It's 9:47. Bomb squad is on standby at the scene. We're being told. Hang on one second. We just got the all clear, and I'm reading that, and that is also coming in from the NYPD. So what we're going to do is go back into our building. He's going to walk back on the air and respond.
All right, go ahead, Colby.
So it's a scary scene out there, you see, and obviously, they take these threats very, very seriously. Well, it's sort of interesting that at 10 o'clock, 10:06 exactly, President Trump tweeted out sort of randomly one of his sort of classic sayings, enemy of the people, fake news. I think we have an image of that tweet. And he, it was at 10:06, and he caught a lot of criticism that he would tweet that, sort of amidst this bomb scare. Well, we went back and we looked like what was going on cable news at that time. We know that President Trump has a proclivity for watching cable news, and a lot of it, and he often likes to hate watch shows that are sometimes critical of him. So as it turns out, at that time he tweeted, Don Lemon himself was airing this clip. I think we have a clip of Don Lemon. Don Lemon was being very critical of, here we go, let's watch the clip.
Trump has a long history of allegations of employing undocumented workers when it suits him, okay? He paid over $1 million in 1998 to settle a lawsuit over a crew of 200 undocumented Polish workers on the site that eventually became Trump Tower on Fifth Avenue. Donald Trump launched his campaign with this infamous attack on Mexicans.
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
He built his rallies around tirades against immigrants.
We are bringing in some very bad people. We don't want this group of people anymore. These aren't people. These are animals. The United States will not be a migrant camp, and it will not be a refugee holding facility. Won't be. When countries abuse us by sending their people up, not their best, we're not going to give any more aid to those countries. Why the hell should we?
He used blatant scare tactics in the run-up to the midterms, trying to gin up fears of the caravan of migrants on our southern border. Migrants from Central America, many of them not so different from the allegedly undocumented workers at Trump's golf club.
So as you can see, Don Lemon was being very harshly critical of what he called the hypocrite in chief for the New York Times report that said that found undocumented workers at the Trump golf course. And so we don't know this exactly, but it's certainly, there's lots of circumstantial evidence that suggests that Trump was watching that and he tweeted that out. So a lot of people are reasonably thinking, like, there's a bomb scare at CNN when the President of the United States is tweeting out enemy of the people. you know, we don't know if that was, in fact, we know that it wasn't. The bomb scare came into NYPD at 9:30, so that didn't come on as a result of the tweet. But certainly it's not a good look for the president, and it's a very dangerous time for any journalist, especially anyone that is being critical of this administration.
All right, so Colby, it just sounds like then it's unfortunate timing that he tweeted that in response to the attack that he felt was being made on him, and then after that we find out there's a bomb threat. Is that what we think probably happened?
Yeah, you know, it was unfortunate timing, but one could reasonably say that any time that a president calls media enemy of the people is unfortunate timing. You know, I don't want to be too sort of political, but it's dangerous. And when, you know, there's lots of people out there that take their cues from the commander-in-chief, and if he's calling journalists enemy of the people, well, it doesn't take, you know, sort of one person who's a little bit unsettled to call in a bomb scare or worse. I mean, we saw another individual who is really anti-CNN sending, you know, pipe bombs to 11 or 13 political and media figures who are anti-Trump. So it is a dangerous and scary time. And then Chris Cuomo sort of reacted to all this, and Chris Cuomo, great legal mind, he's doing really well at the 9 p.m. time on CNN. He woke up this morning and he, you know, went after Trump. I mean, he called out who is Trump going to pick as his next chief of staff, and sort of made digs at, like, sort of Trump was just going to hire a crony like his pilot or, you know, whatever, was making a dig. And there was other tweets were asking him, like, why are you being so harsh on the president? And, well, first he said he's qualified. He's not qualified to be chief of staff himself, even though he has more political experience than many others, especially in the administration. But then at the end, someone said to him, like, why are you being so tough on him? And he said, you know what? Bomb scares will straighten your jaw. And it was a clear sign of, like, you know what, dude, if you're going to sort of call us enemy of the people and then have, you know, sort of bomb threats and threats against journalists, this is too far. So rarely do you see someone like Chris Cuomo go at, you know, the president so aggressively. So, you know, it's a very interesting, dramatic time, and it's, you know, it's not a safe time to be a critic of Trump when Trump's calling you enemy of the people.
Right. And Colby, I really think that the other piece of this is it was a real bomb threat. They had to get out of the building. It was responded to appropriately. But the threat is real, even though, fortunately,
exactly right.
Everyone was safe.
Well, that's exactly right. And, you know, you don't want to be the boy that cried wolf and sort of say, like, well, it's a bomb threat and we won't take it seriously. What if that's the time that it's, you know, not just a threat but something really bad? Because, you know, bad things do happen. And thank God the NYPD handled it so seriously, and I think they're the real heroes in this whole equation.
Yeah, excellent point. Everyone did respond. So I am so excited. Thank you, Colby Hall. Greatly appreciate this segment. It's a very exciting segment. I'm so glad. Second time, and again, my pleasure to be on this.
Ashley.
Law and Mediaite, and this will continue.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We're going to take a short break and be right back.